bit of a detour. We picked up a big pallet of fall cover crops. So one of the principles of the farm is perennial pastures. So regardless of the time of year, having something green covering the soil. You know, as you know, we rotate pigs on pasture, and they can do a lot to tear up the ground for better, mostly, but sometimes we want to they have a little bit too much impact, and so we're working to perfect that, but it'll be, you know, I'm sure it'll be years before we get that where we want it, but for now, and probably long into the future, cover crops are a big part of our farm. We always do cocktail cover crops, which means we have several different varieties, several different types of seed, depending on the month of the year that we're planting and what our goal is. Are we trying to get animals to forage on this? Almost always the answer is yes, but the time at which we're going to rotate them back on the pasture to forage is sometimes very different. So sometimes with particularly with cattle, when we're drilling, when we're no-till drilling the seed right into the soil, you know, we typically want to see a quick growth so we can get those cattle back across that land to graze that. With pigs, and especially this time of year, it's different. We want to get a cover. We want to cover any bare soil from chickens and pigs before winter, and that's what we're doing now. So we have King Agriseed is what we use. We've been using it for years. We actually happen to be a dealer for King. We believe in their product, and so we picked up a pallet of Soil Builder. It's a fall cover crop mix. We should get good green growth here still before winter, and you know, clean up those pastures, keep them green throughout the winter. We will not rotate pigs back on those areas. Pigs will be kept off it. We're still perfecting. We're trying to figure out the best way. We're thinking. Dad and I talked starting last year, the year before maybe, that we're thinking the best place for pigs during the winter might be inside of a greenhouse on deep bedding, and bringing grass and hay to them there for, call it December, January, February. We think that potentially their impact on the land during those months is just too harsh to justify keeping them outside. In our videos, you've seen our what we call the pig palace, which is just a big greenhouse, plenty of open air, plenty of sunlight, so it doesn't infringe on any of the principles that we have about raising pigs, but we think it's best for the land. It's not detrimental to the pigs or the pork. So that's what we're experimenting with. It's a matter of having the time and capital to build more of those greenhouses. We're going to put up another one here before winter, and or at least that's the plan. We spent some time calibrating the rows here already, and so this drill here is specifically designed to go into it's a no-till situation, so the ground hasn't been worked up, and in fact in this situation, this specific drill with the blades down here called coulters are designed to go into pasture, into living pasture. We don't spray, we don't kill any of the grasses that are out there. We just let the cattle eat it down a little further than the normal, and we'll take this, we'll show you, we'll go right into the pasture with it. I told you I'd show you what we were planting here this time of year. This is what it is. It's called Soil Builder Plus. I'll show you the ingredients. You'll see why. I think they just redesigned the bags. It's actually pretty nice. We have charts and everything, and we plan it out for the season. But this will show you when this mixture, this cocktail of seeds, is in its when it's going to grow, when you're going to see it out in the pasture. So it's a cool season. Annual, so we're going to see it in the end of the year in this situation, and then hopefully the beginning of next year into 2021. We do not plant a ton of annuals. We really like to stick to perennials, but to lengthen our season on either side of our grazing season here. The annuals work well for that. So we'll take a look at the tag here. So you see triticale, crimson clover, ryegrass, vetch, radish. That's to break up some of the compaction, and that is the bulk of it. So you can see, kind of follow the seeding rate there. We, like I said, we ran some tests on this drill and made sure, ran some math on some weights to make sure we had the correct seeding rate for this. And it's a pretty big, gap there, but or a pretty big rate difference based on what you want to do. But we got ours set, and we'll see how it does. We'll take it out in the field now. We'll check the seed depth, and we'll go from there. So we plant in two different ways. We plant behind the pigs, always cleaning up around the shop. We plant behind the pigs in the woods, and we actually broadcast that with a seeder. We actually just walk around with it. Nothing high tech, nothing fancy, but when we're in a situation where we're kind of in a half wooded, half pasture area, that's the only thing really that's going to work to get in and out of those trees. Even though we're walking around and covering many acres, it's just as quick as if we were to use a tractor or something, trying to stop and go, weaving in and out of trees and potentially wreck something. The downside, the plus side of broadcasting is that we can really get in close to trees and really get those grasses growing in every corner of the farm. The downside is the seed to soil contact. One of the major factors, other than ground temperature and time of year and that kind of thing, and precipitation, is the seed to soil contact. We have to make sure that we're getting a nice row opened up with the coulters. We need to make sure the seed's at the correct depth, and we need to make sure those closing wheels do a good job of closing that small row that the coulters make, and get that seed germinating. So we're gonna take this drill. It's a Haybuster 104, I think is what it is. 107, Haybuster 107. We're gonna take it out and get it calibrated, make sure everything's running right, and then we'll put in some acres today and certainly tomorrow.
It's that mud dog, is it?
What's up? Alright, come on, buddy. Alright, we're out here planting in some pasture. We got this Haybuster drill dialed in. It's cutting very well. It's laying the seed. I think we're going a ½ inch down the ground last time I checked, and closing it up pretty decently. We need to, we're I guess renting this drill right now just to see if we like it. And I think if we end up purchasing it, we'll probably try to get a good deal on it, because I think we'd like to go ahead and replace a whole lot of parts on it just to get it, a little more modern and do a little better job. But you can see here, this is all we're doing. You may not even be able to see. Let me get to a spot maybe where you could see right here. This small slit in the pasture right here, and that's even up on a dirt mound. Over here, you can't even barely see it. Now it's gone through, but what happens is there's 2 discs on the front of each row, and they open the ground. Seeds drop in at the rate that we prescribe. We set the planter to drop them, and then a wheel comes on the back and closes that back in. So if we open one up here, open up one of these rows, and there's a whole lot. I mean, they're close. They're 6 or 7 inches apart. If we open up a row here, yep, there's the seeds right there. So there's one. We have a cocktail of like 7 different seeds, 7 different varieties in the planter. That's how we plant. We plant cocktails. We don't plant mono crops. Pretty cool. We could actually go ahead and graze this if we wanted to right away, and then let the newly planted seed come up behind it.
The forages over the years. Absolutely beautiful. Top of the fender there, the 2 bolts, there's a marker for where you want to line up to pretty close.
How many pounds an acre are we planting?
120 now.
Oh, okay.
Between 120 and 130. They said up to 160. Was on the tag. You need 4 good rows to open these fields up on the ends, so you can turn 5 would be even better.
So if you guys have any questions about what we're doing here, whether you're farming yourself or whether you're just interested in knowing about what we're doing out here and learning more about it, throw comments in the throw your questions in the comments below. And if you're a farmer and you're interested in seed or learning more about this, there's a ton of information online, even on YouTube, and some of the big guys that really are pioneering this, like Dave Brown and Ray Archuleta, and those guys are guys I would pay attention to. We do pay attention to. I would recommend reaching, looking more into what they're doing, and then if you have any questions about the Kings, if you're in our area specifically, or even outside our area, we'll be happy to answer questions for you about Kings specifically. You can go to their website as well. It's Kings Agriseed, and they're out of Pennsylvania. So cool. All right, this has been fun. We're gonna finish up planting here and call it a day.